Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a fan of thrilling, suspenseful, and fascinating stories, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Scary Story, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest stories.
The kind-hearted king and his cunning minister. The heart of Europe, there was a mighty kingdom ruled by King Edward, a man known for his justice, wisdom, and kindness. His people adored him, for he listened to their troubles and ensured fairness for all. Unlike other rulers who relied on fear, Edward believed that a true king earned his people's love, not their submission. One morning, a frail old woman, with tears in her eyes and trembling hands, arrived at the royal court. "Your Majesty," she cried, her voice heavy with desperation, "a cruel landlord has stolen my farmland. I toiled on that land for decades, but he forced me out with his power and wealth. Please grant me justice." The nobles exchanged uneasy glances, knowing their king's reputation. True to his nature, Edward immediately ordered an investigation. Within hours, the truth surfaced. The landlord had indeed stolen the old woman's land. Without hesitation, the king declared, "Justice will prevail. The land shall be returned and the landlord will be punished for his cruelty." The people cheered for their just ruler. But among them, standing in the shadows, was Lord Winston, the king's most trusted minister. His face remained still, but his mind burned with resentment. He had always believed that power was maintained through fear, not kindness. Watching Edward rule with mercy, Winston thought, "This king is too weak. He will not last. If I do not act soon, I will never have my place at the top." That night, in the dim candlelight of a secret chamber, Winston met with a group of wealthy nobles and ambitious military commanders. His voice was low, but each word dripped with venom. "The king's kindness is his greatest weakness. He rules with mercy when he should rule with strength. If we let this continue, enemies will soon take advantage of his softness, and this kingdom will crumble." One of the commanders hesitated, "But the people love him. They will never rebel against him." Winston smirked, his sharp eyes gleaming. "We don't need a rebellion. We just need the people to lose faith in their king." The plan was set. The next morning, Winston stormed into the royal chamber, his face filled with fake urgency. "Your Majesty, I bring grave news. There is a conspiracy against you. Some of your most trusted advisors are secretly plotting to overthrow you." King Edward's eyes widened in shock. "Who would dare betray me?" Winston took a dramatic pause, then deliberately named the king's most loyal allies, the ones who truly stood by him. His voice was filled with false concern, making it impossible to doubt his words. Edward, shaken but determined, ordered their immediate arrest. The news spread through the kingdom like wildfire. The people, once filled with love for their king, began to whisper in doubt. Why would he imprison those who were always loyal to him? Has the king lost his wisdom? Is he no longer... Winston watched from the sidelines, his lips curling into a satisfied smirk. His plan was working. Days passed, and the tension in the kingdom grew. The markets were no longer filled with cheerful chatter, but with uneasy murmurs. Then, like a snake striking at the right moment, Winston approached the king again. "Your Majesty," he said in a hushed tone, pretending to be deeply concerned. "The people are restless. If we do nothing, a rebellion may start. We must take control before it's too late." Edward, usually wise and sharp, felt the weight of doubt pressing on his shoulders. His instincts told him something was wrong, but the fear of losing his people's trust clouded his judgment. That night, as the castle stood silent under the moonlight, King Edward summoned his most trusted general, Albert. His voice was firm but low. "I need you to watch Winston. Find out the truth." Albert, a man of unwavering loyalty, obeyed without question. Over the next few days, he uncovered the ugly reality. Winston had been spreading lies, manipulating the king, and secretly gathering support to seize power. The moment Albert revealed the truth, Edward's hands clenched into fists. He had trusted the wrong man. But he was not a weak king. He would turn the tables before it was too late. The next morning, Edward summoned Winston to the great hall. The nobles, commanders, and even commoners filled the vast chamber, eager to witness whatever was about to unfold. Edward, sitting on his grand throne, stared at Winston with a piercing gaze. "Winston," he said, his voice calm but powerful, "I have a question for you. If a ruler is kind, does that make him weak?" Unaware of the trap set for him, smirked confidently. "Absolutely. Mercy is a sign of weakness. Fear is the only way to rule." A heavy silence filled the hall. The nobles exchanged uneasy looks. The people, once filled with doubt about their king, now realized the truth. Edward rose to his feet, his voice echoing through the chamber. "Then I shall not show mercy to a traitor like you." Gasps spread through the crowd. Guards seized Winston as he struggled. "Wait, you can't do this. I was only protecting the kingdom," he shouted desperately. Edward stepped forward, his eyes filled with the wisdom of a true king. "No, Winston. You are only protecting your greed." With one final decree, Winston was stripped of his title and exiled from the kingdom. The traitor was gone. The people, now understanding the wisdom of their king, cheered his name once more. As the sun set over the great kingdom, Edward stood on the palace balcony, addressing his people. "Power is not in cruelty or fear. True strength lies in justice, wisdom, and the trust of the people. Let this be a lesson for us all." And so the kingdom thrived once more, stronger than ever, under the rule of a wise and just king.
Dear friends, if you enjoyed today's video, please support me by leaving a comment and subscribing to my channel, Scary Story. If you have a story you'd like to hear, let me know, and I'll bring it to you. See you in the next videos. Take care, and goodbye.